Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. We are doing a slightly different video today. It's one of my artist series videos, and it's looking at this artist, Kuroimori, which means Black Forest in Japanese. And although he's only done 4 cards so far, which we will look at, I also wanted to look at his art style a little bit, perhaps, and go a little bit deeper into what we're looking at. So the first card that he was commissioned for was December of last year's Shiny Treasure EX, the special art of the Gardevoir EX, with the shiny Gardevoir. So this was the first card, and little Pachirisus and a Wooper. Very beautiful, very distinctive and memorable card. I liked that very much. So that was the first one. The second card that they did was this Jirachi, which hasn't yet come out in English. I think it's coming out in the autumn in one of our main sets. But in Japan, it was in the Lucario deck in the full Battle Academy 24 release. It wasn't in the English Battle Academy, but this is they're very different, the English and Japanese Battle Academy. So this little Jirachi, it's very nice. The lighting on it is especially good there. That impressed me a lot. The third card they did was this Leafeon, which was in Crimson Haze in Japan in March of 24 and was in Twilight Masquerade in English. Very sweet. Reminds me a little bit of Rika, somewhat, with the very skinny legs here, but just smelling the jasmine flowers. Very gentle, beautiful. Love the tail on this. And finally, the most recent card they did, which hasn't yet come out in English because it's the Enshrouded Fable, which is imminent. But in Japan, it was in Night Wanderer of June of 2024. And this rather dramatic Sylveon with a lot of determination in their face and the shadow on the ground. Yeah, I like that very much. But on the back of looking at that, I've also, I'll put those up there for the moment. Let me show you something else. So this is a book that Kuroimori did. It's a colouring book. It's actually very affordable, well worth. I mean, I got it for less than that, but it's a really beautiful little book of their art. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit so we're down on this. And really well presented book with a lot of their artwork. You're supposed to colour these in, I think, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that. But it really does give a very clear impression of what their art style is. It's line work, it's got a Art Nouveau aesthetic to it, and it's got a sort of steampunk as well aesthetic. They seem to be, if you look at some of their online presence and their artwork they post on Instagram and stuff, there's very much a steampunk feel to a lot of their work. But I won't show you everything in here. But they did some gemstones. They did each one of the constellations. Actually, that's what they all look like. Very beautiful. That's the Leo. I like that a lot. And well worth getting this little book. It's very beautiful. And as I say, it's nice quality paper and really well presented. There's some coloured example at the end there. If you like this sort of artwork, get this book while it's still available, because it won't be available forever. Yeah, beautiful. So that's that. And their style reminded me of a couple of things. So very strongly, I don't know whether they know about Alphonse Mucha. I found this with Rita when I've spoken to him about some of his influences. A lot of Western artists aren't as well known in Japan directly, so it may be that it's filtered through other things. But Mucha very much did those themed. Here's the zodiac again. So Mucha was very good at doing these themed things. He did Gemstone Girls and a lot of other things. So this is a nice little Mucha book covering a lot of his more famous work that I had. So yeah, these very typical Art Nouveau, early 20th century, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Pretty ladies, but it's the detail of the background and the framing and that whole Nouveau aesthetic that you've got the Four Seasons or whatever. So it reminded me of that. But also, Kuroimori's line work also reminded me of this more modern artist who was working from the 70s onwards. This is Barry Windsor Smith, who also does very intricate pen work. Let's find there's a good example. It's the Pandora's Box one. Barry Windsor Smith's art, yes, beautiful artist, really, really very talented. I love his Icarus one especially. But I thought that Kuroimori's art style also had elements of Barry Windsor Smith in it. Just an observation. So there we are. These are the 4 cards. Let me just bring them back out again. There we go. I hope that they do a long run and get more commissions. You never know. A lot of the artists that sort of showed up first a couple of years ago seem to be getting less commissions as Pokemon keep taking on more and more new artists. And people are being either dropped or at least limited to what their input is in the TCG. And I hope that we see a good run from Kuroimori getting at least 5 or 6 a year maybe would be nice as a minimum, because they really do bring something quite special and different to the TCG. So yeah, there you go. That is a look at the Pokemon artwork and beyond of this very good artist, Kuroimori.